one thing that if I would resolve it right now, my life, would make everything else easier. Right now for me is having a richer social life again, like kind of before COVID. I mean, I've got other struggles, but this one I feel really undermines my energy globally a lot. And it's taking energy from me from doing other things. Can you relate? Do you have something that you feel, if these would be resolved, wow, that would be good for a bit everything else around in my life? Bonjour, practical dreamers, it's Claire from integralife.com with practical body, mind, wisdom and tools to create balance in life and be free to be who you are, to do what you love and to live how you want. And it's very common as a coach to have someone coming to you, a client, and saying, well, this is a problem and I want to resolve it. And then we end up exploring something else. It looks like entirely, but it's not. It's very common in my practice, but also in general. A lot of coaches are talking about this. It's almost kind of funny, and it really makes me think about something that in shiatsu we call kyo jitsu. That actually my lineage of shiatsu, the lineage of shiatsu I learned and practiced from Masunaga Sensei Zen Shiatsu. And Masunaga Sensei was talking about Kyo Jitsu, which are two Japanese words, and Jitsu means something that's too much. It's the thing, that's screaming, that that really needs help. Like, oh, help! It's the red patch on your skin. It's the bump. It's the pain, like the big pain. So you cannot miss it. It's like in front of you, right in front of you, and this is a problem, and you have to solve it. And often, clients were coming with the jitsu. It's like, back pain now, help. And Masunaga was teaching, listen to the jitsu and let it lead you to the kyo. Kyo is what is hidden, what is silent, what is whispering in the background and desperately need support, but won't be, it's even too weak to ask for support. In other words, it's the shadow. Not shadow as bad, but shadow because it's in the shadow of what's in the light. Jitsu is in the light and we see only this, and the kyo is in the shadow and we can't see it. But it's draining because it's trying to support the jitsu. So for example, I talked earlier about a client coming for a back pain. I wouldn't necessarily treat the back pain because sometimes the problem was elsewhere. So the pain was in the back, but for example, I don't know, they had a problem in the knee and the knee was silent. It wasn't painful, but the posture in the knee was such that it wasn't aligned and was causing the back pain. So cure the back pain and get the client come another week. Oh, wait, that's a good financial model. Damn. But I didn't do that because, yeah, it might be a good financial model, but it's not really interesting for the client, right? You have the pain coming back and back and back and back because the kyo is still there, silently draining itself. Help the knee to align, and then the jitsu would just disappear without having to work on it directly. So 9 times out of 10, Masunaga treated the kyo, the invisible, to heal the jitsu, the screaming, the hurt. And that's a very interesting thing, right? Because when you have a problem, it screams so much. It's all we can see. And we forget that it's connected with everything else. It seems like it's all alone, but it's connected to everything else. We are ecosystems. Our professional life, our personal life, our emotional life, our somatic life, it's not disconnected. They all interact all the time. That's why I work like I'm doing. Systematic, generative, embodied change work. That's what I do. And today we are talking about the systematic, systemic. Because to heal, when there is a problem, to find a balance, we harmonize the relationships between the elements of our personal ecosystem. So, for example, a very common example I have is people coming to me for work-life balance. I have too many things to do. I don't see the end of it. It's, you know, the endless to-do list syndrome that I see so much. And I don't have enough time in my day. So what does that say? Hey, the problem is work, productivity. I need to be more productive. Okay. But then from that point of view, self-care is often viewed not only as an obstacle, it's not a priority for sure, but it's often viewed as the obstacle. So how many videos on the net, on YouTube, on wake up an hour earlier, be more productive? Well, mathematically, it sounds correct, right? You wake up 1 hour earlier, you've got 1 more hour, you're more productive. Okay. I know for myself, if I'm trying to do this, it doesn't work. Maybe one day, then the second day is harder, and the third day, like, and the fourth day, I'm oversleeping because I just can't do it anymore. So in this example, we forget, I would say 2 main things. Okay, you've got more time. What about the quality of your work? Is it the same, really? Again, I know for me, it's not. And how long can you keep up with that? Well, I told you, for me, not long. But let's say it might be years. For some, I know people who really went on that route and abused themselves to work more, and it worked or seemed to work. They seemed more productive. But how long? Even if it's like 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, even 10 years, if it leads to a burnout, is it worth it? Really? I'm still seeing one thing totally disconnected from everything else. So often, if I take this example, I can't get anything done in time. I need to be more productive. Well, we often end up looking at another angle. Okay, if you connect this to everything else, like how do you feel somatically in your body? How do you feel emotionally? Often it's rather drained. What about your relationship with your family, with your friends, with love? And often there's no time for that. So if we put this in context of the whole ecosystem, we can balance everything instead of focusing on one thing and maximizing and flushing out everything else. So listening to the Kyo. What about your somatic state? What about your emotions? What about your relationships? So often I can get anything done in time becomes, well, you need to review your priorities. Obviously, it's not working. Make time for self-care and include self-care in the priorities to get good quality work done. That's the miracle. When we place the problem back into the system and make everything work together, then everything works better, including what was problematic. Because I can tell you, if you sleep enough, you work better and you're happy to work. So, for example, the first thing I will have people do when they see me for this, often we end up reviewing their calendar, and the first thing I have them put in this calendar is me time, the rest, the self-care, sleep, and the breaks, and then everything else goes around. And it's really interesting to do that. Actually, if you are not doing that right now, if it's like the first time you hear this kind of stuff, try it. It's really interesting. And whenever it's the first time or not, right now, what is the Jitsu in your life? What is the area in your life that's screaming for help? And that seems to be the problem. Okay, now keep it in mind, listen to it well, and ask yourself, where is the kyo? If I listen to this Jitsu, to this screaming herd, where is the silent part supporting this and draining its energy to support this? Now, if you identify those two, the too much and the not enough, how can you balance it? So what is one thing, only one thing you can change to support the not enough, so that there is not no need for the too much to scream anymore? It's just balanced, equal. What is the one thing you can do so that the whole dynamic changes and the system balances itself? As always, I'm very curious to see your answers to that, because hey, that was your weekly dose of peace love. Boom, your life just got easier. So thanks for being here, and tell me, let me know how this resonates with you. If you have any questions, if you do this exploration and find surprising things, drop your comments and questions on the social, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever it is. I love these conversations. I always reply, and I'm very curious as always. Subscribe to get more. Spread the fierce love. Share to anyone who needs to hear this right now. And stay tuned for the next video. Till then, embody 100% you. Bye bye. Au revoir.